Ladies and gentlemen, so in this video, I'm going to be talking about the number one most overpowered skill that you can possibly have in business. And if you have this one skill, it doesn't even matter if you suck at everything else because you can get rich, live whatever lifestyle you want, and realistically make as much money as you want. And I'm going to explain what that skill is. But first, I need to ask you guys a little bit of a weird question. Who is better at basketball? All right. This guy, Michael Jordan, or this guy. Some of you guys probably know who he is. Some of you may not. His name is Phil Jackson. Okay. Who is better at basketball? Well, Phil Jackson, the guy on the right, the tall white guy, has 13 NBA championships. 13. Michael Jordan, the guy on the left, known as one of the greatest basketball players, if not the greatest, has 6 championships. So this guy has over double the amount of championships as this guy, despite being an old gray-haired man that probably couldn't even dunk a basketball today. So the question of who's better at basketball is actually the wrong question. The question you should be asking instead is who is better at winning? Who is better at winning? And there's ultimately 2 skills that come down to your ability to win. And if you master these 2 skills, and I'm going to show you guys examples, it doesn't matter how terrible you are at executing. It doesn't matter how bad you are at basketball, how old you are, how you can be in a wheelchair. It doesn't matter, right? You can still win if you have these 2 things. So I'm going to explain what those are. The first one is the ability to recruit, okay? Recruit. Now, let's look at some of the best recruiters in history. Interesting collection of faces here, right? So got this guy, Nick Saban. He's probably one of the better modern day recruiters. This guy in particular goes out and convinces teenagers who have bright futures ahead of them to drop everything and move to Tuscaloosa, Alabama, which if you've ever driven through that city, there's nothing there. Like nothing. And it's in Alabama. Pretty horrible, right? But he's convincing these guys to move down there, sacrifice everything in order to play for him on a football team. And the results speak for themselves. I mean, they probably have the most national champion. I don't follow college football, to be honest, but they win a lot, right? They win a lot. And I guarantee you, if you put a helmet and pads on this guy, he would fucking die on the field. So it's not about his ability to play football, but it's about his ability to recruit people and inspire them to come and play football for him, right? John D. Rockefeller. This guy is known as one of the greatest recruiters of all time, getting top-level talent to come and work for him, right? And he ultimately, I believe the statistic of the number is that he's 3 times richer than Jeff Bezos is today. Like at the peak of his wealth, he was 3 times richer than modern-day billionaires, Jeff Bezos. Elon Musk, right? You see he's got the Doge hat here. Guess who he was able to recruit to go and do all of the things that they did with Doge? It was teenagers. One of the kids had translated the Dead Sea Scrolls with AI, and I think his name was Big Balls or something. Basically recruited like super genius teenagers to come and work for him. This guy also doesn't really work inside of his companies that much. Like, there's no way you have that much time to tweet, own Twitter, own Tesla, own SpaceX, own Neuralink, own the Boring Company, and then I'm probably forgetting something else that he does too. Basically starting a new party. Like, this guy has recruited top talent to run all of his companies for him. Okay. So I'm going to also explain, I'll explain like how you can get good at that. And ultimately it's a skill set that I need to work on. So I'll just tell you what I know. By no means am I the best recruiter in the world. But also, look at this guy, Jesus. Who is a better recruiter than Jesus? This guy started by recruiting 12 people, the apostles, and ultimately recruited, I think now 25% of the world is Christian. That is a really good recruiting track record, right? So, what makes somebody good at recruiting? All right. Because ultimately, if you can bring top talent onto your team, even if you're not the best at doing things, it doesn't matter, right? So let me see. Don't want to go through what makes you good at recruiting first, or actually, I'm going to do this first. So we're going to shift over. The goal in terms of how you should develop your skill set is to go deep on one thing and then be wide on a lot of other things. Okay. So it's called being T-shaped. You want to have deep expertise on a single topic and know a lot about a lot of other things. All right. When it comes to recruiting, some of you guys are newer in your business journey, and you're not going to be able to go and recruit C-level CEOs or super impressive people. And if you don't know anything, those people aren't going to want to work for you. So this is going to kind of tie into like how to recruit. But basically, you want to pick a topic that's going to be extremely valuable. So for me, that was marketing, right? I'm very, very experienced and knowledgeable in the realm and in my understanding of how marketing works and just overall that topic. So I have extremely deep expertise in terms of marketing. What this allows you to do when you develop this expertise and go super deep on something, right? Like for John D. Rockefeller, it was oil. For Elon Musk, I believe in the beginning it was coding. I have no idea what Nick Saban's thing was, but I'm sure it was something. Probably something specific in football, right? And when you go super deep on one topic, people are going to start to notice, and you're going to start to build expertise, and you're going to start to have success, right? And then also at the same time, you're building a lot of general knowledge about a lot of things. So for me, I understand business structure to a very basic degree. I understand automations to, I would say, a relatively basic degree, probably more than I understand business structure. I understand finance. I understand sales. I understand copywriting. I understand how insurance works. Like I understand a lot of things on a foundational level, okay? Which means that if I bring somebody in, I can quality control and understand what they're doing, right? So again, to recap, you're going super deep on one type of knowledge, and this makes you a person that is, it makes you a person that somebody else would want to work for, right? At least it like doesn't fully complete that circle, but it begins it. If you have no skills, nobody of talent is going to want to work for you. If you have some skills, you're going to start to be able to attract quality people if you are broadcasting it and putting it out there, right? So you want to go very deep on a specific topic, whether it's sales, marketing, finance, whatever it is. And then you also want to be wide on a wide breadth of topics. So learn a little bit about everything that goes on in terms of a business, okay? So once you have this structure, then you can you want to understand what you're having people do. You don't want to just have people working for you and you have no idea how their job even works. So what makes you a good recruiter? Well, one thing is being a person that other people want to work for. So person of value. You have to develop yourself into a person of value. You have to have skills, which is what we just talked about. The next thing is you need to be able to cast a vision. All right. You need to be able to cast a vision where other people's vision can fit inside of yours, right? Again, like I was saying before, it's not about how well you're able to play basketball or how well you're able to do literally every single thing in a business. It's about how well you're able to cast a vision of how you're going to win a championship together. And then everyone else's vision should be able to fit inside of yours. So if you were to diagram it out, your vision should be so big that every single other person on your team can fit theirs within inside your vision, right? And if you're casting a small vision, right? Like if your vision is tiny, like, let's say this is your vision. None of these other people are able to fit theirs inside of it. And so they're not going to want to work for you. They're not going to want to join your company. You're not going to be able to attract top level talent. The bigger your vision is, the higher capacity people you can bring on, which ultimately, if you have a team of A players and a team of people that are able to execute at a high level, it makes your life so much easier, right? So recruiting is about casting a vision, being a person of value. And the other piece is, let me see if I can find the color I had before. Yeah, there we go. The last piece is, realistically, you need to have a network, or you need to have like referrals, and need to have people talking about you. So like, as you go along your business journey, just by meeting people and being social or posting on content, like either you need to make friends, or you need to talk about what you're doing so people are seeing it, right? I'm now starting to talk about what I'm doing here. Part of the reason I'm making these videos is hopefully some people will see it and be like, hey, I want to work for you and I want to learn what you're doing and be a part of your vision, right? My vision fits within yours. That's the goal. But either you need to make known what you're doing is the point. And you can either do that by talking to your friends about it. Like, I've recruited people that now work within my company and are helping us in our vision that before were doing their own thing, right? And then through maintaining the relationship, the timing was aligned and the stars aligned, and then now they're working with me. So your network allows you to bring other people into your business, or you need to broadcast and talk about it online. Okay, so that's it in terms of recruiting. So for example, how does Nick Saban recruit? Well, he's a person of value. People know that if they work for him, they're going to learn something. He's casting a vision of, we're going to win a championship every year at Alabama. And then in terms of network, people know that going to Alabama gives them a better chance of succeeding long term. And so they built this reputation up over time. But it was definitely a snowball effect where they started recruiting better people, and then they started winning, and then they started recruiting better people, and then they started winning. And the next thing you know, they were winning every single championship. But it's all because of their recruiting. So how can you attract top talent? But not only that, once you attract the top talent, the next thing you need to know how to do is being able to lead and manage. All right. So in terms of skill sets you could possibly have, okay, do you need to be a coder if you can recruit coders, lead them, inspire them, and manage them to go out and accomplish the tasks that you need them to do? What is ultimately higher leverage? That's the way you need to think about it, right? Either I could go and spend the next 10 years trying to learn how to code, or I could become a person that is capable of recruiting top talent to my team, inspiring them, leading them, and managing them. And then I can have 10 coders that are 10 times better than what I could do on my own. And it doesn't take me 10 years to learn it, right? I can bring people in and get them to do things for me. If you can bring people into your company and then inspire them to go out and do work for you, the world is literally your oyster, okay? So the magical part about this is you can borrow other people's skill sets. So for example, today, I make this mistake all the time, and it's something that I'm working on and improving on, because I'm realizing like one thing that I'm not that good at is like project management. So I need to start watching YouTube videos about project management and just like getting that dialed in. But I have solid people on my team. It's just about leading them, managing them, and then making sure that tasks actually get done. But when I master the skill fully, it's going to make me unstoppable. So, ladies and gentlemen, the two skills you need to master: how can you recruit and attract top talent to your team, cast a vision that gets them motivated to want to work, and then how do you lead and manage people so you can borrow other people's skill set and leverage it to scale your business. And if you do those things, you'll get very rich very quickly.